Welcome back to part 4 of From Here to Armageddon. I'm not going to go into much of introduction, but I'm just going to continue on in chapter 2. This is called Etheria or Etherians. Okay, with Ashtar explaining who and what he is and what's going on this planet, and how there is a program by the Brotherhood of Light to return the Master to our planet and collect his brood, if you will. And Ashtar actually commanded the ship which bore this soul, the Jesus soul energy, to your place for his Earth experience some 2,000 years ago. So Etheria and Etherians. The fleets of Etheria stationed within the sector known as HERE represent what is now called the Confederation of Planets for Peace. By the way, your planet is more frequently referred to as Shan. We are a branch of the Great Federation of Free Worlds, which comprise the totality of the space commands throughout the omniverse. While my own administration is local to the commands of this solar system, I am not restricted to this sector in my service, for I represent our system in the councils of other galaxies and universes throughout the vast cosmos. From time to time, I have served in positions of higher responsibilities in those councils. I would like to further discuss Etherians, for there is always misunderstanding thereof. I do not have a fleshly body like yours, that is bounded by flesh, but it is possible for me to make my being quite visible to your optics by changes in my vibratory rate to coincide with a specific optical frequency. I am normally invisible to you, just as are ships. I am often asked if other etheric beings are visible to me. Yes, of course, for those who serve close to me will have equal etheric vibration patterns. I do not have optical vision of them as you would recognize it, but yes, of course, I see them. I simply have evolved beyond the stage of physical and astral body form. Do not confuse etheric and astral. I will discuss this subject later. There is a great difference. I do not possess a physical casing of the dense type, such as yours of Earth human. I am definitely etheric, as are all people on other planets in this solar system. Please hold that very close in your memory. All other planets in the solar system. However, this does not mean that we are invisible to each other as we are to you under normal circumstances. And you evolve into higher dimensions, you will retain recognizable forms. You have been so filled with lies that you no longer have concept of truth. We see each other and we live much as you do. But we do not have a dense physical casting which you possess. The benefits and comforts of this living are enormous. The compression and irritations of the fleshly envelope are most uncomfortable, I am told by my brothers who experience there. Unless we choose to convert the vibrational frequency of our bodies or anything else about us, no one which is visible to your optics, we remain invisible to your people. Highly evolved people with a good psychic eye, as you refer to it, can sometimes see us in vaporous form, although we may remain invisible to ones in the same location. Further, if one can see us, it is usually intended, and the conversion is so complete that a physical person encountering us will perceive that we, too, are physical. Dharma is most difficult to believe. It is most difficult to believe you put all mine brethren through this interrogation. Perhaps Hatan trained you too well. Well, I wish you to be as informed as possible, so let us continue. We have all the elements you recognize from your planet, and many, many more. The etheric form of these metals differ in atomic and molecular structure, just as do we as beings, defined by a term etheric. For example, the distance between the nucleus and the orbiting electrons of the etheric iron nuclear substance, I am effort at explaining something to which you can relate, is much greater than in iron as you know it on Earth. This permits the atoms of earthly steel or other Shan metals to pass through the atoms of etheric steel in such a manner that nothing happens to either form. All etheric matter vibrates at a much higher rate than does its Earth counterpart. Under certain circumstances, however, as in the presence of certain atmospheric conditions and gases, our ships will be visible, or the controlling intelligence of the craft can cause visibility. While in the etheric form, even a spacecraft measuring many miles in diameter cannot be damaged or injured by physical matter, nor can its contents, for all are vibrating at equal frequency. When the vibration is slowed to match Earth manifestation, all are vulnerable, just as would be your own manifested matter. Normally, our ships remain invisible in form for several reasons. There are millions of ships out here, and if we function in your visual frequency, you wouldn't be able to move off the ground. This way, we do not interfere with you children playing pilot. Further, it would terrify you ones in mass consciousness. You have to now move without your solar system to encounter other humanoid forms like yourselves. All of your other planets at this present time in your solar system are inhabited by etheric beings. I speak of outside the Earth-Moon system in your solar system. As you know, on your Earth planet, there are two kinds of beings, physical and astral. At the present time, almost all of the astral realms of your planet have been taken to safety elsewhere. Space people and spirit people. I will speak of differences between space people and spirit people, though I feel completely uncomfortable in that I fear you may not understand. The differences are great, although to the cursory glance it may seem that space people are spirits. However, it all comes down to a matter of the conditions in which we dwell. We are etheric beings in your expression. By this I mean that we live upon a higher plane of existence. We are not discarnate in the sense of having no bodies. We have etheric bodies, which are counterparts of your bodies, but which are made of more tenuous substance, of which are not subject in the same way to gravitational effects. The etheric state in which we dwell is one of many on the ascending evolutionary scale to which we all belong, you too. Above us, for example, are beings more highly evolved than are we, by as great a chasm as there is between ourselves and you Earth human. This is not meant in any derogatory sense towards you, but merely as a factual statement about the scales on which we dwell. Upon our plane of life, we have a much of the same type of existence as you do, although it is free of the corruptions, crimes, and undesirable elements which are to be worked out of a being's life stream before he may pass into the etheric state. We do not participate in things of flesh nature, cohabitation, etc., although we have families and responsibilities, much as yours. Earth is a testing ground, one of many hundreds of thousands of testing grounds in the universe, where beings evolve upwards on the scale of life, working constantly towards junction with the Great One as the ultimate attainment of all existence. We, upon the etheric planes, pass on to the higher planes just as do you, from Earth, when qualified to do so. This transformation on your plane is termed death. To us it is merely a transformer, interposed between us and the next level of life to which we ascend. We will stress once more, the greatest factor in the way of a proper grasp of the true story of life on your planet is the conception of death and of death as the end of all existence. Nothing could be further from truth. Upon your plane, you must serve out an evolutionary period before you can ascend to higher worlds. The fleshly bodies which you have are part of a plan to aid your working through that scale of existence. Earth, bottom of the ladder. At your level of density, second density, third dimension, you must endure savage crime, strife, wars, and violence. The Great One, God, in His wisdom, has seen fit to use the fleshly body as the most convenient method of taking care of this almost elemental stage of development. I believe I will avoid this discussion of reincarnation, etc., or the numbers of discarnate souls in your astral plane, for there are only ones there now that have been carefully planned to be there, and that is not of this subject matter. We have bodies of a tenuous but nonetheless real substance, vibrating at a rate much greater than your own. Spirit people are dwelling in an astral form who cannot go beyond the astral form without serving out a life existence that accords growth and properness. Be cautious in contacting spirits from the astral plane. They are very apt to play some pretty ugly pranks upon you in your fun and games. Further, you have now been requested to stop holding to those ones that they may be placed in security and safety. I was most pleased and eager to place myself at the disposal of Michael in the central sun hierarchy. I have a great dedication to honor and service with integrity. I am stationed immediately at the right hand of my beloved Sananda, another name for Jesus, and I rarely leave that position, at least theoretically. I will defend against the most ardent foe of truth, as taught by the Master, the laws of universal creation. I respect those of the satanistic realms and fleets as a creation of the Father Creator, but I will confront and abolish their devastating programs and will assist you in any way possible to stop their restrictions of man's freedoms. So you hear that? We have help from above, people. Okay, no fortune telling. Before I take leave this evening, I wish to make a comment or two. I have been summoned by you ones prior to this. That was, I believe, regarding my personal interactions on a personal level on your place. This is for others who receive of this information. There are many erroneous claims made by those who crave personal publicity and attention. Anyone who attempts to invest us with powers of divination and announce themselves the recipients of information pertaining to the private affairs of individuals, unless they apply to serious matters of national grouping, instructions for service, international, or galactic importance, are guilty of falsification, only insofar as they affect our plans, which must be which must of necessity depend to a considerable extent on the understanding and cooperation of dwellers on your planet. Will we pay any attention to your own purely personal problems by prying into the future for answers to your queries? I believe Hatan has thoroughly versed you on that account. No fortune telling. Souls must struggle with their own growth problems as every other soul has ever had to do. We have not indulged in fortune telling as a sponsored activity because of the need of the soul to make its own choices and decisions. If it involves our programs in which we are a major player, we will make corrections. We do not impinge upon nor hinder the freedom of man's free will to choose his pathway and actions. We strongly adhere to the freedom of man to be exercised and permitted without interference from another. If a commitment has been made for participation with us, however, we will continue to persistently urge you to fulfill that commitment. So be it. Enough for today, little friend. I feel as if I have jumped through some cute little hoops, and I will let you have your fun for your hours of service. Okay, I will take my leave before I launch off into realms of space fleets and diagrams of Federation, galactic status, and things of that nature. Perhaps we can get Astra out of the way tomorrow, for I lead you right into subject of evil. All right, so Adonai, Ashtar out. With that being said, the Spaceman 2.0, Part 4 is done, and we will come up with Part 5, getting into, after that, Chapter 4. Okay, take care. Bye for now. And this is the Phoenix Truth Rising show. And I'm out.